Hello guys and girls, and this is Kentucky. Let's take a closer look on the beta for Azeroth Beta on the Arms Warrior. There will be a couple of changes. First off, let's take a look on the abilities. We received, as I saw, 4 new abilities, which is Battle Shout, which is the buff. We've got Overpower. We received Sweeping Strikes, and we received Seasoned Soldier as a passive. What we lost is Battle Cry, Warbreaker and Cleave. We not completely lost Warbreaker, we only lost the option to use Colossus Smash and Warbreaker as well. Also, we've got a new mastery, which is Deep Wounds. It is a bleed damage over 3 seconds. It is a very high damage, as you will see. Striking an enemy with Mortal Strike, Execute or Blade Storm inflicts these deep wounds. So let's go from up to bottom. So there is a new ability as Battle Shout, as I said earlier. Berserker Rage got no exact change. Blade Storm is the same, Charge is the same, Die by the Sword got nerfed by only a very small amount, it is like 5%. Execute is the same, Hamstring is the same, Heroic Leap is the same, Heroic Throw is the same. We've got Intimidating Shout, which is also the same. We have Mortal Strike, which is now only a 1 charge ability. We've got Overpower, where we can get more than 1 charge. We've got Pummel, Rallying Cry, which is the old Commanding Shout. We skip the talents. We've got Slam. We might use it with several abilities, but not with every talent. We've got Sweeping Strikes, as I said, it is a new Cleave ability. Victor Rush is the same. Warbreaker, it is the talented Colossus Smash. Whirlwind is the same, and as I said, we've got new Mastery, which is Deep Wounds, and Tactician will reset the remaining cooldown on Overpower instead of Colossus Smash. So we still have the 45-second cooldown Warbreaker or Colossus Smash, which is a increased damage done to the target. But now we don't have to, and we can't extend its duration by any second. So the new playstyle is slightly different. It is now focuses on creating huge deep wounds dots over the enemies with Mortal Strikes, Executes or Blade Storms, which means you will have to always use Mortal Strike whenever available, or Execute or Blade Storm, and you only have to use Overpower or Whirlwind to dump excess rage. So never ever use Overpower or Whirlwind when you can cast Mortal Strike. Now let's take a look on the talents. Mostly I see only new talents, new options. The first row is War Machine, Sudden Death and Skull Splitter. Sudden Death is the Execute Reset ability proc. It is very good, I think, damage wise. War Machine is just a flat rage generation increase, which is pretty good on ad fights, but Skull Splitter is a much more reliable rage generating ability, and that's why I started to use this as part of my rotation. It is 18-second cooldown reduced by haste, which is very important. And it generates 30 rage. which is very much, since after using your Skull Splitter you can instantly use your Mortal Strike anytime. The next roll is the 30 with double time. It increases the number of charges and reduces its cooldown. Please note that charge now doesn't stun, instead it is only roots. Impending Victory, it is the same bullshit as it was, kinda useless. And Stormbolt is a lengthy 4-second stun, which is, I think, the most useful in every scenario. Except if you get only one raid boss when that you can't stun, then double time, of course, is better than Stormbolt. 45 roll, I tested it out. Rend deals the most damage out of these abilities now, but please note that numbers can change anytime. Trauma is now just too weak, and Avatar is just too long cooldown for an arms warrior to get used it. 60 roll, Second Wind, Bounding Stride or Defensive Stance. These are both very interesting options. Second Wind could be handy on Grievous weeks or Bursting weeks. It could be very interesting to regenerate HP faster. Bounding Stride is increases your mobility and in every situation, which is, of course, it is very useful. And Defensive Stance, this is a 20% damage taken reduction, and also reduces the damage dealt by you, which is a very interesting talent. There might be options or situations when it is useful, but I'm not 100% sure it could be as good as Bounding Stride. 75 roll, Collateral Damage, Warbreaker and Cleave. I think Cleave is pretty much useless in situations where you hit only one or two enemies, but it might be very useful when you hit 3 or more enemies, because then Cleave will also affect every enemy with deep wounds, which is your mastery dot. So you will have to try simulate it if Cleave or Warbreaker is better. I prefer Warbreaker because you can AoE Colossus Smash everything on a 45-second cooldown, which is like you can Warbreaker at every Blade Storm and one additional time during 2 Blade Storms. Collateral damage when your abilities damage a second target due to sweeping strikes, which is our Cleave ability. They refund 20% of the rage cost. Of course, it increases the rage generation, and this way it increases your damage done, but I don't think that this rage generation compares to the damage of Warbreaker and Cleave. So it could be situationally Warbreaker or Cleave if you have to sustain AoE. Cleave must be the best option here, with like cleaving on cooldown and ignoring Mortal Strike. But for small number of targets or large burst AoE, Warbreaker is just way better than Cleave. 90 roll, in for the kill, Fervor for battle, and Deadly Calm. Deadly Calm is a very interesting talent. It is on a 1 minute cooldown and reduces the rage cost of all of your abilities by 100% for 6 seconds, which is also situationally useful if you need a damage check when you have to, and when you want to deal a lot of damage in a very short time. You can just use Deadly Calm and then spam Overpowers, Mortal Strikes, Executes, very important, 6-second execute spam at the end with some Mortal Strikes. But generally on Mythic Plus, Fervor for Battle will be, I think, way better, because it increases your Whirlwind damage and bakes in the slam effect. So Whirlwind, I'll show you right now. Here's the dummy. Melee hit overpower, and Whirlwind. As you see, there's a slam, and then the 3 Whirlwind hits, which is the slam, which is exactly the same as this slam. So it just gives you one more free button space, and replaces slam in your rotation with Whirlwind, even in single target situations, and also increases your AoE damage. In for the Kill is a buff for Warbreaker or Colossus Smash if you didn't take Warbreaker. If you take Cleave, it increases your haste by 10 or by 20%. It depends on if there is a target below 20% health, your haste will be increased by 20%. If not, then only 10%. I don't think it is competitive to Fervor for Battle or the execute spam possibilities with Deadly Calm, but later, due to numbers tuning, it could be way better. And the last role, there is Anger Management, Dreadnought and Ravager. Ravager is still bullshit because it's stationary and it replaces Blaze Storm, so I do not recommend ever take it. Or Dreadnought makes your overpower have 2 charges, and it will also increase the damage of your Mortal Strike ability by 10%. Basically, your overpower gives you a buff without this talent that increases the damage dealt by your next Mortal Strike by 20%, and it does not stacks, as you can see here. Oh yeah. So it's changed. Last time I watched it, it didn't stack. Now it stacks. Stacks up to 2 times. Yeah, I see. So with the 2 charges for power, you can instantly get both stacks and a 60% increased damage on Mortal Strike. But I recommend taking anger management, where every 20 rage that you spend reduces the remaining cooldown on the Warbreaker and Blaze Storm, since I didn't take Deadly Calm, which means they are on the same cooldown and they will be reduced by 1 second every 20 rage you spend. This means that you can have access to more frequent Blaze Storms, but you can still synchronize it with the Warbreaker, which is very useful. So let's see how it plays. I think I will take a middle target, charge it there, use our Skull Splitter, apply Rend, Warbreaker, Blaze Storm, everything, and please note that with sweeping strikes you can apply Rend to another target, as you can see. And there is multi-dotting possibilities in AoE situations with this sweeping strike stuff. So that is basically how it plays. You always have to spend every rage possible to cast your Mortal Strikes, and then maintain your Rend, and so on and so on and so on. So basically it is a generating spending class as it was before, but now it mainly plays as increasing the number of mortal strikes you cast, alongside with maintaining rend at all times, and casting Blade Storm as much as you can by spending many rage. This is also the reason why Skull Splitter is way better than the other options, in my opinion, currently. As you can see here, I open it. Blade Storm did the most damage, but then there is Deep Wounds, which is our mastery dot. It hit very lot. Also rend is very high here. And as you can see, Vermine is just a filler. Overpower is also just a filler. Vermine is only used to spend excess rage. Overpower is only used to buff mortal strikes. So the more mortal strikes you hit, the more damage you will do, and the more Blade Storm you can use by spending rage and reducing its cooldown. The more mastery dots will be provided to you. And basically that is the answer here. It is not a difficult quest to play, but I think it is very fun. So thanks for watching, and see you in the Fury Warrior video next time. Bye bye.